Man, it's been a while. And God, I've missed this. For enthusiasts, there are few things in life that give you more joy than revving the nuts of an inline four screamer. I mean, just listen to that sound. A beautiful inline four symphony. Yeah, makes the blood flow at all the right places. And in case you haven't guessed already, this is the 2024 Kawasaki ZX6R, back to give you a second shot at living your Supersport dream. Yes, it has been detuned. It's down 6 PS and 2 Newton meters to meet the stringent emission norms. So now we are looking at 124 PS, 129 with the rammer, and 69 Newton meters of torque. But to be honest, you would be hard pressed to find the limit of these numbers on the road unless you're an Isle of Man TT racer. And on the track, you just gotta swap the exhaust with a free flow one and get a piggyback ECU to get back all that you have lost, if not more. If you're new to riding Supersport, there's a good chance that you would think that this loss in power is obvious, because you won't be riding this as you should, like this. But the life on a Supersport only gets going after 7,000 RPM. And if you can keep it pinned till its 14,500 rev limit, I promise you, your inner child will be laughing louder than this beautiful inline four howl at full chat.
That is just standard inline four sexiness. What sets this new updated 66 engine apart with its new updated cam profiles is this. So imagine yourself in the 6th gear, 1800 RPM, it will still pull cleanly without using the clutch. I mean, this is black magic. There's no business that this proper Supersport engine can have this level of tractability. And what that means is that the 636 can also double up as a city sleeper if it ever comes to that, because you have amazing level of tractability. Also in terms of heat management, this is actually not bad at all. The temperatures are always hovering in the 90s. If you do get stuck in chock-a-block traffic, it will rise up to 103, 104. But then as soon as you start rolling, they immediately come down to the 90s, which is great. Also on the suspension front, you have the same setup from the previous bike, which is Showa separate function big piston forks, which are definitely set up more for the road than the track, which means they're on the softer side to give you really good compliance over bad roads. And of course, they're completely adjustable both at the front and the back. Ergonomics, yeah, they are not really designed for the city. They're as committed as they should be on a proper Supersport machine, because your foot pegs are more rear set and higher up. Even the cantu, the handlebar, is more like a race bike, so that you're always in the right position to attack a corner as soon as you find one. Corners is where you'll also appreciate the new Pirelli Rosso 4 tires. They're not the stickiest tires around, but they're definitely better in terms of feedback when you compare them to the Bridgestone S22s on the previous model. And at least for me, they made a big difference. I felt a lot more confident in corners. I had a much better idea about what the front was doing, and also the amount of grip available. And so when you have knowledge and confidence, that automatically translates to much higher speed in corners. In fact, I feel the tires could have also helped with the braking as well. I'm not so sure about the track, but at least on the road, I felt the ABS kick in a lot less frequently. Now that also very well could be down to the fact that the ABS setting on this has been updated, because otherwise the braking setup is pretty much the same as on the previous model. You have twin 310mm disc at the front, but now they are round and not pedal like on the previous model. You have Nissan monoblock 4-pot radial caliper, which works really well. The only thing that I wish for in corners was better fueling, because the throttle now, especially at first touch, is really snatchy, and that is really surprising considering the throttle connection was one of my favorite things on a previous generation ZX6R. And I'm confused because this is still not ride-by-wire, this is still cable actuated, but for whatever reason, this time around, the throttle is a little too sensitive. Biggest change, of course, is the new front end, and that I love. It's an open secret how much I dislike the looks on the previous generation ZX6R. I think this makes up for it because it looks proper mean. And to complement that, you also get a TFT display, which we have already seen on the Z650, which means you also get 4 riding modes, which are now interlinked with the engine maps and the traction control. And then when you take into account just the meager 60,000 price hike compared to the previous generation, I think the 2024 ZX6R at 11.09 lakhs starts sounding like a proper bargain. And it is until you start comparing it with the 2023 Triumph Street Triple RS. Now here's some history. The previous generation ZX6R, it locked horns with the Daytona, and back then it was more powerful than the Daytona and was also 20,000 rupees cheaper, which made it a no-brainer in terms of value for money proposition. But now the tables have turned, because if you compare this with the present generation Triumph Street Triple RS, the RS is actually more powerful, is loaded to the T with electronics, including a bidirectional quick shifter, which means it also has auto blipper, which this one doesn't get. You also have cornering ABS, cornering traction control. You have top shelf Brembo braking unit. You have stickier tires, all for an additional 74,000 odd rupees. So now, I for one cannot wait to let both of these machines loose on a racetrack to see which one comes up on top. But for now, I'm just really happy that Kawasaki have persisted with the ZX6R, especially after hearing the news very recently that Yamaha about to pull the plug on our beloved R1 in 2025, at least on the road, just like they did on the R6. So yeah, I'm just really happy that this old school screamer gets another shot to scream on.